Hey everyone, welcome to this Let's Play for Tradeancient, Dwarf Fortress. First of all, I really need to give an apology. If you've been watching this series, you probably were a bit confused when you watched the last two videos, because the first video in the series ended very abruptly, without any sort of any kind of real closure. Any kind of me signing off like I normally do. And then the third video, or well, second video ended up being, was kind of like a jump. It didn't really seem to make sense. So I'm sorry about that, and I'll give a little explanation as to what exactly happened so you can laugh at me. I had been switching sources from Dwarf Fortress to Dwarf Therapist. And what happened was, when I switched one time over to Dwarf Therapist, I forgot to switch sources back. So I ended up finishing out a video. So it was only about the first video. We lost about probably 7 minutes of footage, and then the second video, I'm a dum-dum, and I recorded it completely in the dark, which basically means, nothing. I didn't have any source enabled, so it was basically, if I would have uploaded the video, it just would have been 30 minutes of you staring at a black screen. And trust me, I was very, I don't know if I'd say upset, but I was not real happy. Because, a lot can happen in an episode, but it was mainly just laying out buildings and waiting on dwarves to do things. So anyways, we're going to continue with Tradeancient. Things are going pretty well. It's been a few days since I've loaded, so I'm going to kind of go through here and take some stock. I do notice that the game itself is flickering, and I'm not really too sure why it's flickering. I'm not sure if there's some kind of a conflict or something going on. I guess I need to, I meant to research into that, but I haven't done it yet. I could see where that would be pretty annoying, so I do apologize for it. But in the meantime, let's just kind of see what's going on in the fortress. So it is summer. Summer has just begun, or just began. I think, that's where we put our cut in. We still, I believe, only have, we still only have 7 dwarves. Let's see, the giant sponge is still hanging around. Our pets are kicking along pretty well. That's great. Let's look at our stocks. So, okay. Stocks. So we've still got quite a bit of food. 59 food. Drinks we're still looking good on. We have been planting. We have been planting some seeds, so that's good. Just got some stones kicking about. Got 123 goblets. That's cool, right? Some chert mugs and some petrified wood mugs. We'll sell those to the caravan. Thanks, Quill, for that strat. It's pretty useful for a new fortress. Let's take a look at our top layer. So we can see lots of trees. I mean, a lot of trees. The axe is just laying out there. It's a good thing there aren't any key on this map, or they definitely would have stole that. Second layer, there's our farm layer, so you can see our plot kicking about. And this is our third layer, and our fourth layer is our housing, which I remember we were a little bit dismayed because of the soil layer, because we couldn't smooth it out. Now, like I had said, that we will be able to lay down some stone flooring, and at some point in time I guess we might look at demolishing the wall. and replacing it with an actual, like, you know, a real wall and not a sand wall. Which sand wall, it's always kind of, I've always kind of been a little bit mystified by this. You know, how does that work? Anyways, so what are we working on right now? What are we doing? Do we have anything queued up for jobs? Nope, no work orders. Something that you can do when you want to make things instead of manually queuing it up is you can hit U for the unit screen and then M for the manager, and it'll bring up a work order screen. And then if you hit Q, you can type in whatever you want to make. So let's say that we want to make some rock pots, and then you just type rock pot and it'll like narrow the search down. Then you hit enter and you just tell it how many you want it to make. And what'll happen is it'll basically generate like a work order that'll go to the manager, and the manager will, you know, look at it and approve it, and then it will get sent to the workshop for production. Excuse me, I'm drinking a little coffee here. Bit of an early day. Okay, so maybe let's look at our, let's see. So we got two people that are eating. One's making a rock mixture, storing an item in a stockpile, making some rock tables. Somebody's constructing a building. That must probably be the kitchen up here. Yeah, no, the still's done. The kitchen's done. So maybe he's installing some furniture. Huh. Let's see. So we've got our bedrooms up and running. We'll probably be getting some migrants fairly soon. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to actually go ahead and designate out with D and then D. Designate some more bedrooms. So we're gonna make some more of these fingerling bedrooms over here. You know, the first playthrough I didn't really notice the flickering so much, but now I'm really noticing it a lot. I wonder maybe if it's something that I have opened on my desktop. Let me try to close a few things here, and you can see my mouse moving around, but it's because I'm actually kind of like looking at things here. Trying to close them out. I don't know, it's just flicker, 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 huh? I wonder if it's because... Let me look at something. No, that shouldn't be it. I thought it might have been like a where like maybe my see, I've set my frame rate up here. That could be it, because I'm recording at 30 frames per second and it says I'm only doing 29 per second up here, so maybe that's where it's losing it. Maybe I need to be playing in a higher frames per second. Let's save our game and let's see if that fixes it. Just because, you know, I can completely see where that would be a little bit annoying if it was continually flickering. And I you know, it kind of annoys me too. So let's save it, and then we'll quit out. And then I'm going to go here to Lazy Noob Pack, and I'm going to set the graphical back up to 50 where it normally sits. The reason I had it set lower was because sometimes when you set the graphical down, it can provide a small speed boost to the calculations. But alright, let's try that now. Maybe that'll work better. And we can hope, right? Alright, continue playing. We're in Oman Uru. Still flickering. And now it stopped. No, it's still doing it, and now it just completely fuzzed out on us. What's up with that, Dwarf Fortress? Huh? Okay. Well, I really don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research into it because it seems like it actually has gotten a little bit worse. Anyways, so I do apologize for that, and I will do my best to rectify the situation. So we've got a few bedrooms laid out here that our miners will soon get to work on. Let's go ahead and click on this table here, and this is going to be our dining room. So we're going to make this a dining room just right here for now. And we are going to hit the H to make it a meeting hall. Why is this flickering so much? Huh. Let me Google this real quick. Dwarf Fortress flickering screen. Huh. I'm seeing a few people talking about it on here. Not really seeing anything. I mean, and I'm loath to actually spend a ton of time on this, you know. Huh. Well, sorry about that. Okay, so we made that into our dining room meeting hall. We'll expand it out later. Once we get some doors put here, the game will be able to recognize the perimeter a little bit better than right now, because if we expanded it out, it's going to spill out into the hallway and into our stockpile, and we really don't want dwarfs just loitering about. Okay, let's resume. Let them get to work. So we obviously, I think, need some more wooden bins. Do we have any kicking about here? No. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna be primarily using work orders for a while to get things done. And then at some point what I'll do is I'll switch over to the workflow automation system and show you how that works. So we're gonna type in wood bin. See, it seems like it stopped flickering so much. I don't know, maybe it's just me. And let's make 5 wooden bins. And let's see. What workshops should we make now? We have a carpenter, a mason, a stone crafter. This is gonna be a tanner. It says needs tanning. So we've got to go into Dwarf Therapist. Dwarf Therapist. So I need to get that scene loaded up so you guys can see this. Sorry folks, bear with me. I'm adding the capture for this. No, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Alright, let's drag this out, make it a little bigger. That'll work just fine. I mean, there's a little black at the bottom, but who cares? I'm just going to be showing you stuff briefly on this anyway. So, it says we need tanning. Where are you tanning? Right here. So, here's our tanner. I guess you would call him more of a de facto tanner than anything, simply because there's nobody else that has the skill, and right now he's doing a little bit of hauling. So everybody's busy. We could unenable the hauling on him, but I really just don't guess I care, just simply for the fact that tanning isn't something that's like super crucial at this point. So let him get back to work. So as I had mentioned, Dwarf Fortress is a lot of kind of sitting around at the start of the game. Because you're going to be just kind of waiting for things to kind of, like more dwarves to come, and you're going to be waiting for certain things to get built. Speaking of which, alright, so our bedrooms are done. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and... So it looks like it starts flickering when I go into menus. So every time you reopen the game, you have to enable planning mode. So let's re-enable it, and then let's go ahead and tell the game that when we have some beds, when they are produced, we want them there. And then let's do the same thing for some doors. We're going to want some doors here, here, here. And let's go ahead and get some doors going for the rest of our fortress too. So, at the very least, let's put some doors here where we definitely know we want them. We want doors to there for sure. Oh, it looks like we forgot to dig through for the still over there. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's designate this little tile to be mined out. And we need some doors here too. So here, I like to just, the reason you like to put doors on your workshops is in case somebody gets a mood and you can't get them the materials for that mood. So what you do is you lock them in there until they go insane, and then you see what happened to them. Like if they go berserk, then you just leave them locked in there basically until they starve out. I don't really feel like putting a door on the farm. I don't think it's necessary. So that means we're going to be needing a lot of doors. So let's go ahead and go into here, into the work orders, and as you can see, it'll tell you like how many have been made. So we can definitely see that it's working. So let's go ahead and type in rock door 10. And that'll get us started. I don't think 10's going to be enough. I think we probably could have even went with a little bit more, but I don't want to time up too long with the doors just in case we need other things made. Like we need 2 more tables, it looks like. So let's go ahead and queue up rock table. Let's do just 10 of those. And then I guess since we're just in the mood for making some rock furniture, let's do some rock thrones. 10 of those. 10, 10, 10. So as I had said, that mason's gonna stay super hooked up. They're usually one of the busiest dwarves in my fortress in the early game, and I'm sure it's the same way for most people. I mean, you can build furniture out of wood, but unless you have access to a fuel source like bituminous coal, I probably wouldn't, just because you know that you're probably going to need that wood for charcoal. Alright, so rock pot is done. Excellent. Let's make sure rock pots are made at the Crafts Dwarf shop here, so let's make sure. Okay, so he is back to making rock mugs. That's good. Sometimes, like, it'll be a little wonky. Like, you'll set a work order to do something at the Crafts Dwarf shop, and then, like, they won't go back to making rock mugs. So you're just like, huh? Really? So it looks like our tannery did end up getting done. That's excellent. Okay. Everybody's staying busy. Good, good, good. Let's go ahead and build a jewel crafter's workshop. A jeweler's workshop, I'm sorry. And, you know, I'm sure I had said something. I think I said mechanic shop here. Yeah, we do need the mechanic shop probably there. I would say makes a lot of sense. Let's put the jewel crafter's shop. See, I don't know if I want to put it over here because ideally this is the tanner, so this needs to probably be the leather worker. And I like putting, well, I guess I could put the clothier kind of down here. So we could go jeweler here. So make it out of chert. And then what we'll do is we will set up a stockpile here. And we're going to make it a gem stockpile. And then we're going to go back in and, yeah, okay. We just want to make sure that it's got bins enabled because you want those gems to go in the bins so that you can haul them out very, very easily whenever the trade caravans come. So time is a-passin'. What will be our goal for this game? I really don't know. I really don't know what my goal is for this game. We are playing with invaders on, so we could see some events related to that. That could be pretty fun. You know, we could dig, as Quill says, deeply and greedily and look for some fun down there. That's an option too. Normally I just like to build. I'm kind of more of a builder than a fighter. I mean, I don't mind getting a working militia set up, and I will be doing that. Probably, normally I like to get my first militia set up shortly after the big migration wave next spring. Usually you get your first very large migration wave in the spring following your embark. I've seen as many as 33. But I've read on the forums, you know, that some people have seen as many as like 70, which I just can't even imagine getting 70 in your first wave. I mean, you must really know what you're doing. So let's see, what other workshops do we need? Well, we already know that our leather workers shop is going to go right here. So why not go ahead and get it laid out? And then we're going to make a stockpile for leather. Actually, wait. This is a leather stockpile. So why don't, instead of doing leather, let's do armor. And then what we'll do here is we'll go into the settings for it on the armor. And we're going to specify under materials here, we're going to turn off metal because we don't want metal in there. And the rest of it I think we're okay with, because the only two types of armor that we're going to be making primarily are going to be metal and leather. So if we turn off the metal, there won't be any metal armor that gets put in there, hopefully. I have seen some strange things before, but generally it does kind of work out the way you want it to. So we've got 2 more spaces here for workshops, and let's go ahead and build the mechanics workshop, and we're probably going to grind out some mechanisms pretty quick. It's good to keep about 10 kicking around, especially at the start, because you're going to need to hook in, you're going to need to build a bridge, and you're going to want to hook that up to a lever, probably next to our dining room, just so we can bridge off the main fortress if we need to. And also you need mechanisms for traps. So, and we'll need to make some wooden cages before too long as well. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do at the mechanics workshop is do we want to make another stone stockpile? Maybe what we can do here is we can do like this is stone stockpile, and then this right here, from here over, we'll make that into a mechanism stockpile. So mechanisms, I can't remember if it's finished goods or furniture storage. So we'll start out with furniture storage. Let's go into the settings and just look. Yeah, so it is furniture. And then what we'll do is we're just gonna turn off everything but mechanisms, so that the only thing that will get stored in there is mechanisms. And you can see there are no bins set up to go in here, so let's just go ahead, and what I did is I held down shift and did capital V, and it automatically puts it to the max. I'm pretty sure mechanisms can go in bins, but if they can't, then, well, you know what, I was wrong. And then up here, it makes a lot of sense to put something that uses wood, and another workshop that uses wood that will definitely be needing some, not a whole lot, will be the Bowyer's workshop. So we'll put that right here. Bingo bango. And I guess what we'll do is we'll make a stockpile around it for weapons, and then we're going to set it to where it will only take animals. I guess I didn't hit the right hotkey. So I disabled that with D, and now I'm going to enable this, and we're going to go over here to weapons. I mean, we could just go to and disable, it might be faster. No, I don't want to do that, because then if I just disabled like metal, then what would happen is the wooden training axe would end up here. So we're just going to leave crossbows on. We're going to turn off everything else. It would probably be easier just to forbid everything and then just enable the one, but I'm a creature of habit, and that's how I've always done it, I guess. So, and then we're going to need to dig out some more workshops. So let's go ahead and finish out this place over here with some more 5x5s. 5x5. So we get 2 more over here, and then we'll do the same thing that we did before with how we linked them in. Try to get this even. It's kind of hard to eyeball from here. Yeah, see, I got it wrong. Got it wrong, oh no. So what I do, whenever you have it wrong, you just hit X before you hit enter again, then it just sets it to remove designation. Just hit enter again, it'll remove it. And I just tried to do it again. You can tell I'm like half asleep right now. So we'll go, no. I actually had it right the first time. Yeah, I did have it right. And then this whole place right here will be a stockpile. So like, we want there to be a wall here, so we're not going to dig there. But that'll be a stockpile. And then we will put an entryway here, and here, and here, and here. There they go. Okay. And so probably what we'll do is we'll put a clothier's workshop here, and then here we might put, I don't know, we'll see. Mechanics workshop's done, so let's go ahead and make some work orders for some mechanisms. So rock mechanism, mechanism. I guess it just automatically constructs it out of rock. And let's queue up 10. Alright, let's switch scenes. Okay. There we go. And let's make sure we have a mechanic set up. We do. So we definitely will in a migration wave get somebody with some mechanics, but at this point it's just our jack of all trades. Or it could be a woman. Could be a female dwarf, I don't know. I really need to set up the hotkeys to switch these scenes for more seamless transitions. So as you can see, our mug crafter is already making masterpiece mugs, so it's definitely not hard to get your mug empire up and running. This is silty clay. I don't think you can smooth that floor. You can see. You just designate and then S for smooth stone, and then we can hit enter here and see if it'll work. Nope. So we'll have to lay flooring there too. It's not something that's very dire though, like it's just a thing that you can do to give the dwarves better moods, which is important. I like to keep my dwarves very happy so we don't have any chances of a tantrum spiral. Okay, so our little crafting annex is almost ready for launch down there. We could have somebody start cutting gems, but I don't think it's really necessary at this point. We haven't really found too many gems because we haven't really dug that much, and also because a lot of the layers that we've dug through have been soil layers. You're not going to find any gems in the soil layers, I don't believe. Okay, so now we have some space, so let's go ahead and build a workshop. So that's lowercase k for the hotkey. For the clothiers, we'll put it here, and then we'll set a stockpile up. Didn't back out all the way. Set a stockpile up around it for cloth. Now there is something very important here that I want to show you guys. Alright, so go back into your stockpile, and something you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to go in here and disable thread. Forbid, 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 forbid. And the reason why this is I just like to forbid thread because whenever I set up my hospital, I want all the thread to go into the hospital stockpile. I also, what I'm gonna do is go into, no, wait, yes, okay, let me show you this. So you want to hit O and then capital W, and this is for workshop orders. And as you can, if you look up the very first one, it says auto loom all thread. And what that means is, like, any thread that you get, if you have a loom or a farmer's workshop, the dwarves will automatically loom it into cloth, which can be actually pretty bad because you need thread for sutures. So when you need it, you really need it. So what we're going to do is we're going to change it not to no auto loom, but we're going to change it to auto loom dyed thread. So if there is some thread, if we have a bunch of it kicking around and we want to use it for something, we'll dye it, which will actually give a greater value to the clothing. Doesn't seem like the screen is flickering as much. I don't know why. Okay, so our clothier's workshop is done. I guess what we also are going to need a stockpile out here for finished goods. So like maybe let's put it like here. And this is going to be a stockpile for the clothing. So we're going to go in here and we're just going to how about we try what I said before? So forbid finished goods, and then yes, footwear, headwear, handwear, sure. Legwear. Yeah, that's all good. Okay. And then that should let the dwarves that make some clothes at the clothier's workshop put it out there. Bins enabled? Yep. Okay. And we have space for one more workshop. We don't have a metalsmith's forge, but that's okay. We don't really need a siege workshop. Farmer's workshop is a strong option for that position down there. Farmer's workshop can also be very good next to your kitchen too, or your brewery, because you can get milk. But I think I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to put it right here. Now what some people like to do, some people like to put all of their like animal food production all together. So they'll put like the butchery, the tannery, the farmer's workshop, the brewery, the kitchen, all of that stuff, they'll put it right together. Some people do that. It's really just personal preference. I mean, you can definitely micromanage this game into the dust. But I think it loses a lot of its charm whenever you do that. So for some reason, the axe has ended up sitting right in the middle of the mechanic's workshop. It's kind of funny. Alright, so I think we're doing pretty well. I don't really think we're going to need any more workshops just right away. Alright, first, we still need to take away these ramps here, right? And oh, we need to build our trade depot. I'm so glad I thought about that. So we want to put it in a spot that's all green. So I think that's probably a pretty balla spot. Yeah, it's fine. Let's put our trade depot there. And we're not going to use logs, we're going to use chert, even though it's further away. So it takes 3 units. Yeah, you definitely want to get this built before summer comes. I'm sorry, before autumn comes, because that's when your first caravan comes, and if you don't have a trade depot, then they will just pass you by. So, all right, so our first migrant wave is coming in. I imagine it's probably going to be fairly small. So I see 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's a pretty normal first migrant wave. So let's pause the game and let's swap our scene over to Dwarf Therapist. Okay, and read dwarves. So yeah, we have 3, and we'll see what we got. Well, it says he's a fishery worker, so not entirely. Well, yeah, actually, no, I take that back. Remember, we do have a lot of fish around here. I hope he doesn't get eaten by the giant sponge. That would be very bad. But it would be interesting. So let's go ahead and enable fishing on him. He also has a little bit of weaving, but that's not a very time-intensive labor. So we'll let him fish and see if there's much to be fished. And this guy, all he has is hunting. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, that's terrible, but if we look at his military skills, he does have 1 pip, just a little itty bitty tiny amount of skill in ambushing. So, That could be helpful, I guess. He's actually pretty useless. But he will definitely be a good candidate for being drafted into our very first military. Although he would serve much better for probably a ranged squad. Anyways, we're going to disable hunting on him because I don't want to have to continually make wooden bolts at the crafts dwarf's workshop. And then our last person is a weaponsmith. Oh my goodness. Level 13 weaponsmith. See, this is funny. You know, I was talking whenever we were picking skills about, I think I said something about, you know, how rare it is. It's pretty rare to actually get somebody this good. So he's a really good weaponsmith and dyer and shearer. Okay, and he makes potash. Well, you're gonna be our primary weaponsmith. We're gonna disable weaponsmithing on that guy, and that's good because now he can just primarily be our cook. Excellent, excellent. Alright, so I think let's go ahead. This episode's probably ran long enough, and we're going to put in a cut. And then next time when we come back, we will continue expanding our fortress Tradeancient, making some mugs, waiting for the fall caravan to come in. Till next time, game on.